What compels someone in this day and age to actually keep a diary? And for that matter, record one on their phone and mobile devices? Well, it started because I wanted to make sure that during this process, my kids had something to reference. I mean, a diary is a means of keeping track of what happens in one's busy life. My life is absolutely busy, and I get to document the process, the successes and definitely the failures, because that's where my lessons have been. My lessons have been in how to fail and still move forward. Fail fast, fail forward, and fail frequently, and more importantly, make sure that people know that one failure does not your career make. We also get to celebrate the successes, and that's one of the things that I like documenting. As I want to document the wins, some of the ones that are hard fought, the ones that take forever, the ones you hope that happened that took too long, the ones that just didn't happen in the time frame that you had hoped. But these are the reasons we work so hard. At the end of the day, it's $1 to begin to find out, if this is something that fits for you. You get the opportunity to see the inside of what's going on as we continue on our journey to get to the 1,000 units and the 1,000,000 square feet and finish the larger transactions you don't often get to hear about until they're done. You don't often see what goes on behind the scenes and the stress and the mess, and then more importantly, the success that is developed over time through successive mistakes. This is Jay Massey with thecashflowdiary.com, and in this video, I'm going to answer the age-old question: to pet or not to pet? That is the question. Now, you're probably wondering, what is Jay talking about this time? I get the question a lot. Hey, Jay, do you have pets? And what do I do with pets? And I don't like pets. And I'm like, what is so wrong with Fluffy and Fido that you don't like pets? Now, me, I'm probably allergic to them, but I'm not living there anyway, so I don't care. Here's a common thing that most people do. They say, I don't like pets, therefore, I don't want pets in my property. Well, that's the first mistake, because the property isn't for you. It's for the use and enjoyment of your customer. So tailor the property towards the customer's needs, not yours. Second, what ends up happening, this is the second mistake, is what ends up happening is that people go and they take a pet or security deposit. I'm like, no. You don't want to do that, because a security deposit and a pet deposit that's increased, it only shows up on your balance sheet as a liability, and you can't do anything with those funds. They just sit there. They add no value to the property. They just become something that you have to watch over and usually have to fight over at the end of the lease period and have to give back. Here's what you should do. Let Fluffy and Fido stay. And it's a very simple conversation. Yes, Mr. Tenant, here's how this works. You can have Fluffy, you can have Fido. All you need to do is you're going to increase your rent $25 per month per Fluffy or Fido that you'd like to have. Have as many as you want. And see, when you take that approach, that $25 a month, it actually shows up on your income statement, and it's money that you control, that you've earned, that you get to keep. And most importantly, if you've done the math correctly, when you're using the income valuation with your net operating income, you just increased the value of your property by the capitalization rate. If you like information like this, feel free to click subscribe. This is Jay Massey with thecashflowdiary.com, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to make dollar bills, y'all. Okay, what we're gonna really do is we're going to increase your revenue on multifamily buildings. All right, so you got the multifamily building, you've got the apartment complex, you're like, what can I do to earn more money? Well, it's very simple. What you're gonna do is you're gonna look for new services that you could add that don't cost you any more money, that doesn't cost you any more extra time or very little effort. For example, here's the simple form of ways to make this happen. Say you happen to buy an older building and it, for whatever reason, doesn't have air conditioning. Yes, there are still properties out there that don't have air conditioning. Well, you could simply offer your unit such as follows. Yes, Mr. Tenant, you could have our standard unit at this price. However, if you'd like our super package, okay, remember, it's the super package, not the deluxe package yet, but the super package includes a window unit AC in every room for this price. And if you want our super and super deluxe package, not only does it include the AC, but we start to include appliances. And then if you take our ultimate package, it begins to include things like dry cleaning picked up at your door. So there are many ways to package the services that you know your tenant is going to purchase anyway. So you might as well make it convenient for them and charge them for that convenience. So there's one. Here's another one. Have you ever considered the idea that it could be frustrating to actually leave your house, to go somewhere, to wash your clothes? Well, why not just have the laundry facility be on site? I know it seems crazy. You're like, but I don't have room for a laundry facility. Well, if you have a maintenance closet anywhere on your property, you have room for, well, a laundry room. Probably one of the other ways that you want to consider how to increase income, other than just increasing the rent, what you want to do is you want to figure out what you could do to add value. And now let's think about your common area and open space. Do you have a playground that no one really plays on? Do you have a pool that could have been used a long time ago and no one is actually using anymore? See, you're still paying property taxes and expenses for that real estate. So why not build a structure or repurpose that use for maybe a community garden? Maybe not even a garden, but what about a daycare? What about a tax preparation facility? There are so many different ways to add value to the existing pieces of real estate that coincide with what the services that your tenant already needs. Here's an idea. The next time you have your property managers collecting the rent, why don't you have them pass out a survey and ask your tenants, what else would you like to see here? If you like information like this, by all means, click subscribe. I'm live. Yep. Hi guys, how you doing? You probably saw some new videos there. You're wondering what is going on. Well, welcome to Q&A with Jay. If you haven't been here before, my intent is to make it easier for me to answer, well, more of your questions. So we've captured a number of them on video that we get a lot, and you saw 2 of them. You're gonna have to check out the YouTube channel, pass it around. That way you have a way to help your friends actually get answers to their questions as well. So that way, you know, hey, the more people we can help, the better for everybody, right? And we forgive the humor. Now you understand why I do real estate as opposed to stand-up comedy. But at the end of the day, hopefully it's a little bit more interesting for you to actually watch. If this is you're here for the first time, or you're coming back for the first time, or you're here for the 101st time, glad that you're here. Make sure you're at cashflowdiary.tv. Put in your questions in the chat room if you're watching. For those of you joining us for the first time, just a couple of quick things. We have a podcast in iTunes Mondays and Thursdays, cashflowdiarypodcast.com, cashflowdiarypodcast.com. If you happen to be watching on a mobile device, you've heard it twice. Now you can go there as well. Twice a week, we introduce you to new entrepreneurs who are out there making things happen in all shapes and sizes. We've had many different types, real estate, non-real estate related. They're all producing cash flow, using business, using some sort of asset that they've built in general to go out there and make things happen. So it's a great way to learn possibly some of the things that you might be missing inside of your own personal equation to make it work out right for you. So as you guys can see here today, for those of you who are live, we're going to probably get through all of the sent in questions, which is great. But for those of you that are live, we'll be able to get to your questions. I see you're already typing them in the chat box. Keep doing that. Do not stop. And finally, before I forget, a couple of updates. I know one person in particular who does a lot of work on a boat has been looking for this particular update that I'm about to say. Gee, I wonder if he's watching right now. Oh, of course he is. He's always watching. Here's the point. The audiobook. Here's the update. All of the sections that need to be recorded are recorded. It is now in the Q&A. Quality assurance. Hopefully it doesn't get kicked back again. We'll see, and we'll go from there. But at this moment, that's where we are. So we're closer than we've ever been, which is good. We're not there yet, but we're close. So for those of you watching, we'll do our best to keep it going and moving as fast as humanly possible in that regard. A couple of more updates really quickly. A number of you may have received an email recently as it relates to multifamily, which is why that last question was important for you to understand. We're about to launch something special only for those that are interested in multifamily. Don't want to bug everybody too much. So if you are interested in multifamily in any way, shape, or form, learning how to find them, fund them, run them, whatever it is that floats your boat, so to speak, what I want you to do is to go over to cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. I'll write that down for you just so that you have it, because the only people who are going to find out about the special events that we are starting next Monday are those that are there. So if you're not on this list, you could have been on, you could be coming to Q&A with Jay or listening to the podcast for years, weeks, I don't know. I guess you can say years now. It's been that long. And if you're not on this list, you're still not going to get notified. So you want to make sure that you make your way over to cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. Yes. / There you go. Now we got it. And lastly, but not leastly, this week I am in two places. I'll be up in Sacramento here, actually in a few hours from now. Sacramento, California at Capital City Wealth Builders. For those of you who are up there, looking forward to seeing you. And then I'll be out in Florida over the weekend at Planning for Prosperity. There's an event. It's with New View IRA. They are one of many self-directed custodians out there in the marketplace. Definitely, if you don't know what I mean by self-directed custodian, well, that's the reason for you to come back here next week. And make sure that you continue to send in your questions as well. So, I've given you enough time to understand what's going on, what I'm doing. Just really quickly, the goal here is for me to answer your questions of various kinds and understand we've done multifamily, single family, cell phone towers, all kinds of interesting real estate deals, syndication, raising capital, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Can you answer my question? The answer is yes. So if you've sent them in, we're definitely going to get to them. For those of you watching live, we're probably going to get to yours too. So keep typing them away. All right, Tim sent in that's a problem. I have the wrong keynote. I have the wrong one. This is the one from last week. That's awesome. Awesome. I have a great team that lets me know and I do silly stuff. Oh, look at that. Boom. You remember how I said your team is good and you have to have them everywhere you go? You guys are learning. Remember how I said you can't learn and look good at the same time? Guess what this one is? All right. October 14th. That's right. Different day. That's good. That's good. October 14th already. It is flying by. All right. Anyway, so good Lord. Sep has a condo package. That's a pretty picture. Let me see. How many questions do we have, really? Oh, yeah. We're really going to get to you guys live today, so this is going to be good. All right. So Sep, Ryan, and I are purchasing a 13-unit condo package in a market where we already have rentals. Okay. Here's the deal summary. Separate parcels for each condo. Okay, I'm already confused, because are you buying all, if they're condos, aren't they individually owned? Are you buying the HOA or are you buying the building as an apartment and everyone is renting the condo? Right now I'm already confused, but I'm gonna keep going. Unit mix, 2-bed, because I know you're watching, so go ahead and answer. Unit mix, 2-bed, 1.5 bath, 900 square feet. God, that's small. $600 a unit. Current rents $500 to $600 a unit. HOA 175 includes water. Purchase price is $295 for all of them. Okay, interesting. Occupancy is 61%. This is reading more like an apartment building. I'm not sure why you're calling them a condo. Who owns the HOA? That's my question now. If you're buying this condo package, I'm assuming you're buying it all from one seller, because this is going to be weird or wonky if you're not. But I'm going to keep going. Seller owns property, figuring clear, purchased it for $400 last year and wants to get rid of it. C+ neighborhood, had 12 competing offers within 24 hours of being on the MLS. Seller countered our LOI, and they are firm on 5-day due diligence, 30-day close. We plan on using a bridge lender, but the timeline concerns us. What do you suggest? There is potential in converting units to 3 bedrooms to achieve $700 a month rent. Okay, got it. This is a separate HOA. Only 14 condos out of 50 are for sale. Aha! Now this is making more sense. Got it. All right, Seth. Thank you. I was like, what? This is interesting. Was there any more? Did he say anything else? I saw something about $1,000. The condos, no, it's something else? Okay. All right. So, Seth, here's kind of what I'm thinking. If you've got these 13 houses or 13 condos, there might as well be 13 houses. And you've got this $175 HOA on each one of them, and it's a 50-unit complex. Well, I'm not concerned about the timeline, because it's the same thing. So here comes a ninja secret. Get ready to write it down. We should come up with like some sort of graphic. Ninja secret. Anyway, whatever. A little ninja person running across the screen. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, sorry, we're having fun over here at your expense. Here's what I would do in that situation. I'm not concerned about the due diligence period of 5 days, because remember, the due diligence period does not begin, and that's all you got to do. Just, hey, you want 5 days? I've got no problem doing your 5 days. Due diligence period does not begin until buyer receives all documents requested to perform the necessary due diligence and confirm such in writing. I have no problem with that. So 5 days, fine, but that's 5 days after they've given you everything you've asked for. And if you haven't already, you're going to want to go over to learninvestingnow.com. That way you have a list of everything you should be asking for in this type of situation, so that you can be prepared to send it to them. And even if they don't have it, because there's a number of things on our list that your seller won't have, that's fine, but at least you asked, and you still want them to verify that they don't have it at the end of the day. So those are the things that I like there. So, yeah. He doesn't know who owns the HOA? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, you're buying a significant percentage of this thing, And in my head, if you're going to buy a group of condos, buy the whole thing, be the HOA, let other people then deal with the mess. So I don't know if you're buying to flip these or buying to hold these. I'm hoping, and you don't hear me say this often, I'm hoping you're buying to flip them, because you guys know I don't like HOA fees at all. And your potential to moving them to 3 bedrooms for an extra $100 a month, okay, maybe, but how much more room do you have? It's still 900 square feet. It already sounds small as 2 bedrooms at 900 square feet. It sounds like a shoebox. What do you have? The kitchen is literally right here next to the bathroom, and you walk through. I don't even understand the floor plan. My point is, I don't know that it's going to be worth it, because what woman, think about this, when they walk in and see, 3 bedrooms, yeah, that part sounds good, until when she sneezes and hits her head both on the front door and the bedroom wall. That's not good. So you want to make sure that there's more room than that. And that's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's see. Next, Steven's got a question. On Mark Kohler's show, you had mentioned that you could go to any city, pick up a paper, and because of your training, you could see the opportunities. Is it fair to say that you could do this via the web as well? If so, if you can give a quick example for, say, Tucson. Full disclosure, I have no properties or interest in Tucson. I just picked it randomly. No problem. So, Stephen, here's how it would work. This is how you could find opportunities randomly. Now, not only could you do this Not only have I done this on the web, but I've also done it in countries where I don't even speak the language. So it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to write Tucson. I'm assuming you mean Tucson, Arizona. Is there another Tucson anywhere? I mean, I don't know. Tucson, Arizona, and then I'm typing newspaper. Okay, so this is how it would work. I'm just going to make it larger so it's easier for you guys to see. Arizona Daily Star, that's what I'm being told. Will Martha Sally stand up for women? I don't know. Should I care? Let's find out, though. Here we go. Care home employee facing theft charges. Interesting. Okay, so here we go. Ex-Wildcat Kerr, I'm assuming Steve Kerr, let's find out, donates $1 million to McHale Renovation. So let's look at this already. Again, mind you, this is, it's 3 hours old. And his wife have donated $1 million to ongoing renovations at UA announced today. I'm assuming that's the University of Arizona. Okay, got it. Boom. Here's what I just saw. Here's the opportunity. They're pouring money into the University of Arizona. Obviously, this is going to be a student housing play. I'm going to guess that there's probably someone who's looking for their child to be going to that school either next year or beginning in the fall and doesn't simply have housing yet. I'm just guessing here. But what if you tailored that housing specifically for the needs of someone who was a sports fan, specifically basketball in this particular case? That's a simple one. That one's very easy. Too many of you saw that. So let's challenge myself. Let's go find something harder. Let's go back. Am I on the front page again? Okay, yeah. So let's see. Photos. We saw that. Autumn. Hey, look. Leaves do change color. Photos. New restaurants. New and moved restaurants in 2014. Slideshow. Restaurants closed in 2014. That's pretty funny. What, is Arizona like a football and basketball place? Good Lord. Everything on the front page is all about football and basketball. That's interesting to me. That also says that might give you some idea of the demographic. So now, well, here's another one. This one is deeper. If Arizona is a football and basketball kind of place, might you want to customize your housing to meet that need? For example, a little bit larger backyard, or maybe I was going to say a batting cage. But if you have something that caters you to the idea of a basketball, if you had an apartment building, I'm definitely thinking a U-shaped building with a court in the middle, right? These are all the things that I'm just seeing looking at this particular website at the moment. Let me see. Oh, let's go to the news section. Let's see if there's something else. Let me see if I can find something that you might not think of. Okay, Arizona agrees to settle a lawsuit over prison health care. We're not going to talk about the real estate play with prisons. Just know that there is one, because your tenants are, well, they're there, and you know how long the lease is. It's awesome. Anyway, Duval suspended after violation, car show benefits, local charities, international free bike lights. Interesting. I don't need that. Oh gosh, 16 and a half years. That's not good. Rescued. Hey, here we go. This will be easy. Tucson home prices nearly flat. Sales dip in September. You know what that's called? It's called an opportunity to give someone full price using seller financing, and that's what this is. So now here's your ad in Craigslist. Home, want to sell, price flat, call me now, done. And it's very simple because this is how many people? October 13th. What's today? 14th. So this is about 24 hours old-ish. So that could be an ad you put in the paper. Housing got you down. Let me pick you up. I don't know. It's very, very simple in this particular case. I can do this for a long, long time. With, like I said, I just need, if it's a page, what is that? If I don't speak the language, I just need someone to interpret it for me. Here's what I'm doing. Problems are disguised as opportunities. They come dressed up, usually called work, and you just got to look for them. You got to know how to interpret them, and that's really all I'm doing. And this is, and we found 2, 3, ooh, there we go. See, and as I keep going, I just keep coming. When Pima County, I don't know where that is. The point is, they're seeking input on housing funds. Well, that probably means to hear the public's input for a 5-year plan. Oh my God. See, this is just a laydown right here. Oh God, where'd it go? What did I do? I double swiped. Swiper, no swipey. If you have a young kid, you know why I just said that. Okay, so Pima County and the city of Tucson will host more than a dozen meetings this fall to hear the public's input on a 5-year plan on the priorities and uses of funds for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, all I'm going to say is go to the meeting because they're getting ready to tell you where they're going to put all of the money for the next 5 years. Well, what do you think that price is today? Today is probably lower than it will be 5 years from now when everyone else who's not reading the paper catches on and sees the trucks on the land. This is a lay down sale right here. I'm going to go to the meeting. I'm going to find out where all of those are. And let me see. The fund, which includes community development block grants, CBD. Yeah, this is very similar to what we do. Home investment partnership programs, emergency solution, helping. Dude, oh my God. Are you kidding me? This is a lay down. I don't like Tucson because it's too doggone hot. But this is something that I'd be all over this right now. And this is the type of stuff you're looking for. They're telling you not only where they're going to place the housing, they're going to tell you who they're going to house. And at the meeting, they'll discuss how much money is there available and what type of housing you need to purchase and buy. It's all of the information is going to be right there for you. And they're going to make a decision. And you just now all of you watching get to go there first. And all of a sudden, wouldn't it be something if we see a spike in housing? Housing sales were down, but they're up in October. It'd be awesome if it was because of this show, but we all know the truth. It's not. It's all good. Let's keep going. There it is, Steve. Hopefully, Steve, you're watching, and hopefully that helped. Kyle, your team is incredibly efficient. Thank you. And the new website looks great. Thank you. Speaking of which, I just want everybody to look. I love the way it looks. And yes, I am wearing a color that is not black. I know. I have other color shirts. I've heard from some of you, you're like, dude, do you have anything other than black shirts? I can see why you would get that impression. However, here you go. You got a little bit of a contrast. So hopefully you like that. When I raise billions of dollars using your advice, would you consider being paid on a point basis for consultation advice on the deal? Possibly. There's actually someone, these are additional services that we do offer. If you've got a deal and you want me to just help you with it, fine. I'm willing to do it. It's not inexpensive to say the least, but I think it's a great value. So don't be thinking, oh, I'll get Jay for $1. That ain't happening. Just letting you know, but it does mean that if you need help, I'm willing to help you. So, Kyle, we'll talk. Irv, I've been challenged in the job market, and I'm tired of sitting idly waiting for a new job opportunity to present itself. I'd love to know what character traits one needs to possess to succeed in the wholesaling real estate market. I came to Jay via John Assaraf events, and he seems like a down-to-earth guy, someone I'd love to sit down and have coffee with. That's a venti salted caramel mocha with whipped cream, the hot one. Okay, don't forget the salt. And discuss life. I have 4 kids. No, I'm just kidding. This is in striking contrast to my perception of those in the real estate market as shady, etc. Thanks. Hey, Irv. Thanks for the kind words, and I understand. You got to learn to repackage how you sell your time, and that's one of the first things that comes down to. So the solution to your problem is the injection of someone else's ideas, and if they're mine, thank you, I appreciate that. If they're someone else's, that's fine too. At the end of the day, the solution to your problem lies outside of yourself, just like the solution to my problems lie outside of myself. I was actually talking to a friend of mine earlier, and I was like, dude, all this stuff is going on, and blah, 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 blah. And it just hits me many times compared to how we started. You guys know we had, my wife couldn't, eat or drink. I couldn't walk or talk, squatting in bank-owned property, all that other stuff. It's hard to complain today, even when things don't go my way. It's really hard to complain. He's like, what am I going to say? Oh, I didn't get the next multi-million-dollar piece of real estate. Poor me. It just doesn't work too well. But I understand what you're feeling, Irv. You can feel like you're waiting, for a new job opportunity. Someone said this to me once, and here's advice that I give to you. They said to me, you couldn't get a job, and they said it with that type of, you couldn't get a job, so you had to create one, didn't you? And I thought up for a second. I went, yeah, that's exactly what I did. And so now what we do is we provide jobs in housing. And that's the whole point, is maybe there's a problem that you could see in your newspaper that you could solve. Take it on and gather others around you, start the mission, create the vision, and go out there and make it happen. For those that are a part of our Raising Private Capital group, we talked about this during our monthly call. We have monthly calls in which I share with everyone, some insights. And here's something that we shared on that call that might be of an advantage to you. BI triangle photo. And it's Robert Kiyosaki's BI triangle, right? So this triangle is what I'm really referring to, is that you've got to go out there, Irvin, develop that mission. From that mission, gather that team, become that leader, and then you have the ability to make all these other things happen. Without that, it's going to be very, very tough for you to make progress and make things move forward. But these are the systems that make the business happen. And you got to learn how to develop them, how to package them, how to offer them to other people in some way, shape, or form, usually by solving one of their problems. Let's see. Boom. Alpha. You got an awesome name. I hope, is your last name Omega? That would be really funny. I am a beginner. Well, of course, you're Alpha. That's how it starts. Who is interested to start up in real estate investment? That's excellent. I'm living outside of the U.S. Okay. How can I identify real market value of real estate versus, a bubble? I'm asking about methods that will help me understand and assist me on real estate deals and transactions. You just got me excited. Okay. So here are what you're asking about here, Alpha, is the three types of value. I mean, we've talked about this many times. Three types of that didn't work. Three types of, oh goodness, the markers are just all kinds of loose. All right, there we go. Value. Three types of value. That's what we're after. And there are three, and each one has a different number. So every asset at a minimum has a minimum of three different prices based upon who's looking at it and how it's going to be used or viewed. You have use value, you have speculative value, and then you have investment value, So Alpha, in this particular instance, you have to come up with three different ways of measuring value. Use value is simply retail, meaning the person is going to live in the house, etc. So when they're living in the house, there's a certain dollar amount that they're willing to pay for that right to use the house personally for their own enjoyment. This person usually is willing and able to pay the most. Hear me clearly, not because the house is worth that, but because there are other factors in the financing game that gives them the ability to pay the most, i.e. Fannie, Freddie, subsidized loans, blah, 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 blah. So this person is usually capable of paying the absolute most for that type of house. The investment person is looking to derive value by like a dividend. They're typically looking to hold on to the property and take dividends every month in the form of rents. That's what they're looking for here. And the person, when it comes to speculative value, is hoping to buy it low, fix it up a little bit, or do something to it and sell it off later at a later date. So, in all of these things, the thing you have to learn to pay attention to is, in my opinion, things like utility value and its pricing. A house is still a house, until it's not, right? Because you take a same 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the middle of, say, I don't know, randomly Orange County, California. And you take that same house and you put it in the Midwest, and for whatever reason, there's a zero difference between the two prices. One could be $40,000 and the other's $400,000. Does that make any sense? Not really, but it's because it's still a house, and that's utility value. So does that mean, quote unquote, California is in a bubble? Well, or does that mean that pricing back east is very low? It's always relative to so many other market conditions. It's not like housing is in a bubble per se, as much as it is a marketplace is in a bubble. And typically when it outstrips the affordability index, which is a number you can look up, the affordability index for those who are going to use the property, that's when you have an issue. So when they can't afford it and they're still buying it and they don't know how they're really going to pay for that later, that's called a bubble, and especially when a lot of people are doing it, when it outstrips its use value, that's when you have an issue, and you got to think about that. So for me, with that being said, some of you are, you're watching, maybe you're in California, you're in, like DC or New York or, one of these other jurisdictions where housing pricing is absolutely nuts. And you're like, well, my housing pricing is absolutely nuts. Does that mean we're in a bubble? Probably. Do I think California housing is too high? Absolutely. It's been that way for a while. I call it a sunshine tax, okay? And you say, well, then, Jay, what about you? I choose to rent and not pay the sunshine tax because that extra $100,000, $200,000, or $300,000 for that down payment could be put to better use in many other ways. And I enjoy the flexibility of renting, especially right now, when I can go wherever I need to go, if I need to go, and I don't have to worry about it. It affords me lots of opportunity. The house, maybe let's say hypothetically speaking, if you were looking for that 5, 6, or 7,000 square foot house, guess what? That's an easier place to rent than it is to buy, and a much better way to go. Just my opinion. And the point is it's got to outstrip that use value. Everything has a certain amount of use value. When it does that, that's when you're probably approaching bubble status. So hopefully that helps. All right. That's a good question, though, Alpha, especially from first timer. Charles, I'm located in England. I'm located in California. Would like to purchase property in the States? Charles, I'm going to ask you to contact us because we were working with a number of people, one guy in particular who's been helping us organize a number of individuals in the UK as well as Germany to help them purchase and work with us to be able to purchase property here in the States. So give us a call, email info@cashflowdiary.com. A call, that would be weird. Ricky, property management, I have a lousy tenant. Okay. Well, is it that you have a lousy tenant or did you train a great tenant to be lousy? I don't know. The point is, you've got to learn through these processes, which brings up a great point. We are in the process of documenting and interviewing a number of our team members. For those of you who are Cashflow Diary Founders members, you want to keep paying attention. For those of you who are not and want to know what that's about, you're going to want to click the link below so that you can be notified to know when we're going to be doing this, because it'll be the only way you can really understand all the things is to go through each of the steps that we implement in order to put our teams together. What I'm really excited about is you guys are out there getting it, because I talked to a number of you and I can tell. So let's see what we've got in the chat. Let me see. Kyle, Jay, speaking of news, could you show us how you set up your RSS feeds? Okay, got it. You mentioned setting up email. Okay, got it. Yeah. Got it. That was Kyle. That was back when, oh God, was it Google Reader? Google Feed something? Google Reader. It was the tool that I was using for that. I haven't reset them up, but what you really want to do is you just want to set up a saved search in general. So let me see. Let's see if we can do this real fast. Scott, what's the tool? I know you know it. Just want to save search that, google.com. Scott knows all this internet stuff. All I want is a save search for them based on keywords. Do you know? No clue? Not anymore? Nobody does it at all? That's called an opportunity. That's called an opportunity. So what about a save search at a newspaper? OC register, because we get those from the listing services.
There are other RSS readers.
Yeah, like what? I just need one. Because was it Good Reader? Is that it one? I don't know, I'm making up stuff now. Feedly?
One of them.
Okay, perfect. So if I type in start reading. Okay, if I type in search by Memphis real estate. Nice. It's called an opportunity. What else? Oh, what did he say? Nordstrom. Nordstrom buildings. Nope. Oh, N-O-R. Did I spell it wrong? S-T-R-M. There we go. Okay, so that's going to begin to help, but that's not quite what I'm looking for. That's funny. No one stepped in for that? Huh.
When you say a safe search, you're meaning
Because what I would do before is that Google had this service where you could it just gone away.
Google.com/news, news.google.com.
News.google.com. It was a type. I forgot. I just can't remember because it's been since it went away. I was like upset, and I never found a new thing to do. So can I search here somehow? Mm-hmm. Where? This right here, right there. And can I save this search? I got to be able to save this search.
I don't know. I don't use Google that way, so.
You don't use Google that way?
I don't use it for safe search.
I'm like, you don't use Google for searching? What do you do with Google if you don't use it for searching? Oh, gosh. Okay, yeah, here it is. Now, how do I save this? That's all I need.
Let's see.
I just need to know how to save this. If I can save this, I'm good.
What you could do is you can create an Evernote note and save the link to this search in the browser.
Yeah, but it's not going to email me. Because that's what they used to do. Is I would
Google Alerts.
Google Alerts. Yes, that's what it was.
I was thinking, what's the replacement for Reader?
No, yeah. What's the replacement for alerts?
Google.com/alerts, and then you put the keywords in that you want.
Thank you.
Email you. Yeah.
Is that still here?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, then we should probably be able to see the ones I have set up. Let's find it. Because I haven't gotten any emails in a long time. Or maybe that's that. Ooh, that might be the old email. That could be the problem. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hi, guys. Mike, they might not. Yes! That's what I was looking for. So there you go, Kyle. So, yeah. It's just Google Alerts. And as you can see, I've got a few of them set up. And then now, well, most of mine are obviously related to me. And that's all you're going to do. You're just going to set those up where you need them set up, and you can just create the alerts, and then it emails you. Because, see, what changed is how I got notified.
Press the pencil.
Huh?
You'll see the customization.
As it happens, yeah, exactly. There you go. There it is. Woohoo! I knew something changed. Oh, you can go straight to Evernote. Sweet! Sorry, I just got excited. Anyway, hi, I'm back. The point is that's how I do it, Kyle. Thanks for asking the question, because it was on. You know how you have that list of stuff? I should get to that, and it was on I should get to that list, but I hadn't gotten to it, and then right here you are. So now I've gotten to it. Awesomeness. Thank you. I think everyone else thanks you too. All right. So what is all that? What are they saying? Are they saying nice things? Are they being good? What time is it? Okay, we got 18 minutes, guys. What's that?
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. We make a good team. Where's your game this weekend? Okay, cash flow games. That's good. We lost it in the chat. We lost your question, Sep.
Sep's first question.
Seps, Jay, have you ever heard of a 770 investment account? It has to do with the strategy around life insurance, and as I understand it, you use the money into the account to invest on this. Give me 1 second. I have an idea of what you're looking at, or a small idea. Let me, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's look it up. Sep, or was that Sandra? And 770 investment account. Oh, something. Let's find out what it is. There you go. This will be easy. Secret 770. Daily finance. I'll be able to look at this. Cash out, scanning. Okay, got it. Got it. Oh. Okay, got it. Well, that's a neat tool. No, I've not. We did similar things to that without the securitization of, like I said, by guaranteeing the insurance carrier with the cash value balance. So this is cool. That's a neat tool. Nope. I have not used that tool at all, but I like it. It's just another place to find some more money, that's for sure. That's definitely for sure. What else? Hi, all. Having trouble with connection tonight. Looks like I will have to catch the rerun. This ain't good times. Okay, thanks. Hosting cash flow game. Way to go, Luana. Luana, awesome. Steve Kaiser. No, it wasn't Feedly. It was alerts. I know. My brain, I got stuck. I'm back. Just do it. No, that's not it, Jake. That was not what I was looking for. Google alerts. Yep, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Thought you'd find the 770. Yeah, that is an interesting, it's just one of many, many more tools. You know, you can talk about life insurance, and that's fine. Typically, the difference was always the arbitrage between what the life insurance default loan interest rate was and whatever the return rate was on the deal. That doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means that concept has been around for a while. If you've ever heard of the concept, similar to infinite banking, similar to, you know, Missed Fortune with Doug, I forgot his name, Missed Fortune, Doug, I think it was Doug, Missed Fortune, what's his name, do you see it? This guy. Well, his name's gotta be here. About Doug, yes. Doug Andrew, yeah. So it's a very similar concept. The concept's been around a while. It clearly has a new name today called the 770, which is neat, and that's fine. See, I would have Googled how to set up Google Alerts. It's basically a Google. Nice. Kyle, in reference to Tim's question, I don't remember Tim's question. Oh, so since I made the mistake of showing last week's, you know, I can purposely go and get last week's. Is that what he's giving me permission? Thank you for making me feel better about my error. So let's see Tim's question, because I'm looking at that. Gotta get this, clean up the screen. That's better. And then fit in window. All right, so you said, I have a seller. Oh, got it. You recommended that he change his language pattern, and you said, no, you just know someone. What resources would you recommend for framing your language patterns? Got it. Thank you. Well, the first and most important resource is just to understand that most of the time we don't know the meaning of the words that we're using in a lot of cases. And words, and again, for those who were a part of our Raising Private Capital group, we went over this on Friday, is that words are representative of ideas and at best pictures. They're at best pictures. So when I say the word, and here's the same example I used on Friday, when I say the word school, I said the word school. And, you know, Josh could be thinking of the girl he had a crush on, and then Ray's thinking of that hot teacher that he liked, and Sandy's thinking of all the times when the English teacher told her that you can't write, and then Haya's thinking of all those boys she wished she had asked out, and I'm thinking, I'm just saying, we're all thinking something differently. And when you say school to me, I think of my little kids. The thing is that in the business of communication, we've got to be clear, right? Clear on the pictures that we're creating in the prospect's mind. The other person we're communicating to is receiving a picture. Now, in this particular instance, it's easier for me to communicate with you because you can see my face and facial expressions. When those of you who listen to the podcast, ask yourself, when I'm talking or when someone's talking, do you get a picture? Because I promise you, I'm thinking about it, and I'm working to create a picture. But it's got to be the same picture I mean for you to see. And that's where word choice becomes very, very important, just understanding your diction. Because by saying things like, and this happened, I was working with a coaching client just yesterday. She's writing her first offer on an 8-unit building. We went over it today. It was awesome. In our one-on-one situations, I'll go all the way down. We'll write over the offers. We will We'll submit them together. We'll talk. We'll negotiate. I give you all the stuff. It's fun. Anyway, here's the point. One of the persons she was talking to said, who's a licensed realtor in the area or a property manager, something like that, said, "Oh, you don't want that property. It's in the bad side of town." Now, what happens is when you are talking to someone who's Nordstrom, but you don't have the context of Walmart, Target, Nordstrom, you end up in this situation where you interpret that. You take those words and then you say, "I talked to property managers in the area and they said that that's just a bad property." See, you see how I changed those words, even though that's not what you meant. You talk to one guy who looks at the world through their own lens, and based upon looking at the world through their own lens, they don't want to do the work required to make that property work. That's at best what you heard. Now, what you said to yourself and how you interpreted that and how you changed all that around is the challenge. I don't know if I'm just anal with words, but I hear them this way. I just hear it all. I spent so many years, guys, long before real estate, long before the first time I was homeless. Yeah, you don't know about that one, right? First time I was homeless before the second time. I spent a ton of time on the phone. And I learned to hear what people were saying, and then I learned to sell over the phone. And so there's not like I read a book, unfortunately. I just learned to listen to the inflections and tones and get the pictures and learn how to create a picture in someone else's mind over the phone. So therefore now today, when someone says something, I'm getting a picture, and oftentimes the picture that some people who are not as skilled at communication, they're creating the wrong picture. And it's a challenge. I mean, if you're in a room, like this weekend, I'll be in a room, I think in Sacramento, it's about 100 people, and in Florida, it's probably 200 people. I've got to create the same picture in everybody's head at the same time. That's called the challenge. And as a communicator, as a real estate investor, this is a skill you must learn to develop. So if there is a place you could go to help develop your skill at communication and being able to do facilitation and making sure that you're creating the proper pictures in people's heads, I think a number of you who have been following me around for a while, you understand where I'm going with this one. And let me pull it up for you. Here's where you can go to become a better communicator just in general. And toastmasters.org. They are international, so if you're watching the recording and you're in a foreign country, that's fine. They're probably in your country too. And you've got to learn that words have nuances, especially in the English language, especially in many languages, especially guttural languages like German or Chinese or the Asian languages. You get the wrong accent on the wrong syllable. You know what I'm saying? And people don't know what you're talking about. And you said something you didn't mean, you just said it in the wrong tone, and it means something completely different. The same is true for English, and it just gets that much more important when you become someone who's working to communicate your ideas and getting people to invest in them or to sell you the building or to buy the building from you. You must become a better communicator. And writers know this instinctively, that especially novelists, fiction writers, that's what they have to do. They've got to create a picture in the reader's mind, and that's what they do. They're just really good at it. They've just honed that skill. And if you create the wrong picture, you're going to get the wrong result because people thought you meant something. I didn't know that's what you meant. How many times have you heard that? And those are the things you got to work to eliminate from your marketing messages, from your sales messages, from your videos, from whatever it is that you're creating. And it's not easy to do. Now, fortunately, once you get the use of video, it gets easier to do. When you get the use of many other mediums, it gets easier to do. A podcast, that's not easy to do. This is easier in the sense of being able to communicate those ideas simply because you can see me, you can also hear me. If this was just a transcript, you wouldn't be able to get the inflections that are coming through my voice. You wouldn't be able to get it. It just would read. You would read it and it would get interpreted by whatever filter, however you're feeling. If you ate bad salami at lunch, whatever it is, that's what's going to happen. So you just got to be aware of that. And once you're aware of it, then you'll begin to influence and change it. And Toastmasters is a great place to get started. Woo! See you tomorrow, Jay. Yes, Lamont, I will be up there. Doug Andrew. Yep. Matthew, school reminds me of the principal's office. See, told you. I said the word school, and he's thinking all the times he got in trouble. That's my point. It's something different for everybody. The topics of language and communication effectively are in your book. Very helpful info. I try. Thank you. And the book that Sandy's referring to is Cash Flow Diary. 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy. If you haven't gotten your copy, now's a good time. What was it like the first time you were homeless, and how did you keep believing in yourself? You're making an assumption that I believed in myself, first of all. See, notice in the language, the words are right there. What was it like? See, that's true, the first time. And how did you keep believing in yourself? You know, I needed other people to believe in me, namely God, namely people from church, because I was sleeping in my car. I remember a number of times where, I was sleeping in my car. Everything just sucked. I didn't know what was going to happen. I needed someone to come and pull me out of something, and there was just the right support group. This is why I'm saying this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Environment trumps will. You think there's not much value to coming here every day or every Tuesday. Not every day. I'm not here every day. Don't do that. The value is that all of you in the chat room, as you talk, you're reinforcing those muscles because you're all moving in the same direction. Environment trumps will. Willpower gets worse as the day goes on. I don't care how long you try. If you can't develop a support group, it's not going to work, no matter what habit is you're looking to develop. Think about losing weight. Last time you went on a diet, but you tried to do it alone, probably didn't work as well as if you had a workout buddy, right? Last time you tried to change anything, it becomes difficult for you to war against your environment. If your environment isn't conducive to the new habit you're looking to develop, it's going to be a challenge. And, you know, you've got to learn to surround yourself with those right individuals. Many of you, you're witnessing me go through many changes, but one of the other changes that I'm currently doing, especially if you're following me on Facebook, you're probably noticing I'm posting more health-related posts. I'm posting more posts about my heart rate and all this other stuff because that's starting to be important to me on a whole new level for many different reasons. And guess what I'm doing? I'm surrounding myself with individuals. I'm helping. My wife is actually involved. So the environment around us is changing to help support going in that same direction. Just like when I wanted to do multifamily, just like when I wanted to do real estate, just like when I wanted to do notes, just like when I wanted to do commercial, just like when I wanted to do the cell phone tower. Do you get my point? Surround yourself with in that correct environment. And this is one of those places where you get to stay in that conversation. Reading a book is another place where you get to stay in that conversation. Listening to the podcast, all the free content we produce keeps you in that right mindset. That's the point. And speaking of which, I mean, every Friday we send out a newsletter that reminds you of the previous podcasts, right? We send out information. There's additional content that you don't get anywhere else except in the newsletter. If you're not on it, well, okay, I don't know what to do, but we keep producing this stuff because I know how important it is to stay in the conversation, because the world outside isn't exactly conspiring naturally. You've got to make it conspire on your behalf, and that's not going to happen if you just think it's not going to just randomly happen. You got to go make that happen. You make good health happen. You make good wealth happen. You make good family happen. You make those things happen with intent and intensity. And you can probably hear it in my voice right now. The point is, I hear you, you know, and you know, homeless, and that's just a temporary state. So just keep that in mind if you let it be temporary. Good point about...
Show them where to sign up for the newsletter on the website. We just integrated that.
Oh, got it. For the newsletter, if a number of you are probably like, I'd like to be on the newsletter. Well, if you go to cashflowdiary.com, here's what you're going to do first. You're going to look at it and go, ooh, Jay's wearing something other than black. And then you're going to scroll all the way down. Right here where it says join our newsletter and get informed. Get informed on the latest and greatest at Cashflow Diary. And we send a newsletter a week with additional information. Occasionally, some of you are asking, where's the properties at? Well, got to get the newsletter, right? You want to be a part of a deal? Get on the newsletter. We don't just send it to everybody. We got to filter some of you, you know? But the point is, here it is. It's right there in case you were wondering. And notice how it says move at the speed of instruction. Anyway, Jay, good point about fiction. Yes, that made sense. Who are my favorite novelists? Believe it or not, Stephen King is actually someone, I haven't read him in decades because I got too scared. And I just quit, and I haven't been able to go back. I think the last book of his, if I remember correctly, was It. And I just got too scared. And I quit reading it. Because it was a boy with asthma who was scared. And I got scared, and I got asthma, and I couldn't read it anymore. So I quit like halfway through that book. But Stephen King, he creates vivid pictures. That's why it's scary. Isaac Asimov was also great because it's scary. There's a Christian fiction writer. I can't remember. C.S. Lewis is also someone that I think is good. And you know what's really funny? And it's interesting that you mentioned about fiction. I haven't read a fiction book in a long, long time. So I'm not actually up to date on too many of them. But I do know this, that that's one of the points or places where you can learn to hone your language to create the correct picture. Susan, my father uses the example of the word jump. Is it jump? Jump or jump? Yes, exactly. Each way, the same word with 3 different inflections means 3 different things. You got it. Jay, environment trumps will. Is that why you work at the mall and Starbucks? I find it easier to focus in similar environments. Yes, I also like working when I'm at the mall. If you're on the phone with me and I'm at the mall, it's because you, in my opinion, have earned the highest and best of my attention. When I'm walking, I can focus a lot better on what you're saying than if I just sit still and have to try to contain the energy that is naturally within me. If you've ever seen my son, my 3-year-old son, who wakes up at 5:30 every morning and stays up what feels like forever, and wakes up on 10 and eventually hits 11 and then 12 and then volume 13, and then around about then he finds a new level, you understand where he gets his energy from. And I've got the same thing. So I've got to keep moving. So if I'm ever outside walking, it's because I'm trying to focus. These environments help me focus on you, especially when I'm on the phone, and distraction is a minimum. But environment trumps will. The other thing is your friends, who you're talking to, who you're listening to, who you choose to read and listen to is highly important, because they tend to make up that inner voice. Because I've talked to some of you when we do breakthrough sessions, etc. Sometimes you guys say, yeah, I was thinking of doing this and I heard your voice in the back of my head, and you're like, what would Jay do? Which I find complimentary. Thank you. I can't even believe people are going, well, what would Jay do? How would Jay handle this situation? I'd buy it, whatever it is. Now, the point is what I'm saying is you've got to just surround yourself with those individuals. And not everybody's going to be marching to the same drum or on the same wavelength or on the same tune. Notice how I use 3 different word choices to produce different pictures in your head to get my point across. And the whole point is that your environment, it trumps will. I don't care how organized you want to be. If you are just naturally disorganized, you're going to have to learn to fix that. And it may sound like work, and you're hearing it from the guy who has a hard time with it. But it has helped me to learn to organize time and to organize money and other resources to make them go in the direction I want them to go, otherwise just letting them leak out the back door. These are all skill sets that you grow in over time. So don't beat yourself up if you're not where you thought you'd be yet. Anyway, good questions today, guys, gals, people of all ages, all of you from all across the world. Thanks for sending them in. Hopefully, we've been able to help you. Again, I want to remind you of cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. I won't see you again until this has already started. Many of you have questions about multifamily buildings, how they're going to get started. That ebook with those questions that you sent in, I'm almost done with it. It's almost done. So those questions is what you're going to be able to get that ebook. You're going to be able to be on the live webinar where we're going to talk about all of your questions when it comes from the ebook, and we're going to do that in such a way that helps you begin your multifamily journey. And then for a select few of you, I'm going to work with you at an extended period of time to make sure that you get your multifamily done, because it's too long. Susan, how do you feel about some of the software available out there, like Freedom Soft, for sorting through potential properties? A tool is a tool. That's like saying, how does a carpenter feel about one hammer versus another hammer? The question is are you going to use it? Does it build a house? if you know how to use a tool, there's one thing to have a tool, it's another to have the right tool, and it's another to have the right person using the right tool. And those are the things that I care about. Most of the time, any tool will do. I mean, if I really, really, really wanted a nail in the wall and all I had was a screwdriver, would you figure out a way to get the nail in the wall? The answer is yes. You'd figure it out. It's not the best tool, but it's better than no tool. So I can't really speak. I've never used FreedomSoft. As you guys know, we use Infusionsoft, and that's what I like. But the point is are you going to use it to its fullest capabilities? If you're just buying it hoping that that's your solution, like, ooh, I bought the tool, now work. That's not going to happen. Okay? That doesn't work that way. You've got to learn how to use your tool. The same thing happens when I started getting to photography. Definitely. The camera knew its job better than I did, right? And over time, you learn. And you only learn by failing fast, failing forward, and failing frequently. And Susan, I know your association with the word fail. You don't like it. So you're going to have to choose. You're going to use it or not. You're going to fail forward, fail fast, fail frequently. If you're not willing to do that, then yeah, FreedomSoft is not going to work for you. Kyle, is the link for the webinar on Monday, cashflowdiary.tv? No, it is not. That's why you must be on the list for the multifamily, cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. You will not get it any other way. So if you want the multifamily information, if you want to be able to be there, if you want to even have the opportunity to possibly work closer, I'm making up words now, closer with me to help your multifamily dreams come true, then this is going to be your opportunity. Let me put it this way. I did this with wholesaling, and I haven't done it ever again. Not yet. It's been over a year. I did it with raising private capital, and those people have gone on to do great things. People who did wholesaling got on to do great things. I don't always create and make the time to be able to work with groups of individuals in this fashion. This is your shot if you want to do it with me. So go to cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. Make it happen. I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Until next time.